What's going on, and welcome to an episode of Full Transparency Trading, where I'm your host Sebastian, and today we're having a really important talk about sort of the darker and downsides of day trading that I really want to express to you guys, the emotional state that you can get into, and how unfortunate the beginning of your trading journey actually can be. And I want to tell you guys probably about the worst day that I've ever had trading as a whole. And we'll just get right into it. Because I believe that a lot of people envy the balance. They see $263,000 and they're like, that's amazing. You know, I wish I could do stuff like that. You know, but what you don't envy is the amount of work, the hours, the endless sleepless nights that went into actually building up my abilities to get to this point where I can take trades like this, refining the system so that I'm so pinpoint accurate with my entries that I'm getting a bounce here or a rejection there, you know, and over and over and over again. You guys see the polished version of the rough draft. You know, you see a performance like this, 35 trades, $18,000. You know, you go over here and you see I only had 19 losses in that same time for $4,700. You're like, wow, that's super duper accurate. That's amazing. He's averaging 526 a trade. His largest winning trade is, let's see what my largest winning trade is. His largest winning trade is $3,000. You're seeing all that stuff or whatever, and that's all good and great, and it's all seems very impressive. But I want to tell you guys about what it was really like. But let's just go back to this video here, where you could see the start of my trading, like really coming to fruition. Trade here. If not, we'll look to get out. They're trying to change the trend. As you can see, we pushed up. So you see my entry at the support there. I was learning this whole time. This is October of last year. A new trend to the up. We're looking. So we're just 1,000 for me. If you guys can do that, that'd be great. If not, I understand. Let me pause here. I still do this to this very day. I still lock in way too early, or exactly too early, because I was still trading ES back then. You guys know I trade NQ now. But stand, so here comes 700. We're looking to modify right about here as soon as we hit over 700. 750, we take the modification. Next modification right here at $800. Don't pull back, don't pull back, don't pull back. Oh, don't pull back. Come on, give me the 750. All right, so they pulled back. Still haven't learned my lesson. But come on, man. They're gonna go and touch my take profit. Watch. I should have hesitated on that 750 like I did the 400, and of course they go down to my darn take profit literally several seconds later. But we got 750 out of the trade instead of the 1125 that we were. And I still feel that way. I still feel that way. It goes down lower and stuff like that, like way lower. That's like $2,500 or whatever. But I still feel the exact same way. As long as you're getting profit out of the market, you're doing well. So now it's neat, it's refined, it's you know, got levels of like darn near just amazing levels that happen all the time in it. Demand zones are on point, supply zones are on point. Like it's a beautiful system now, but it was rough. It was rough in the early goings, and this is kind of what it looked like. Look at it. It's pretty clear to see what direction we chose today, buddy. This was when I was learning. I had words on there, seller, supply zones. I was still getting it in. Even just, what was this, October? So 4 months ago, just 4 months ago, it still wasn't where it is now. I've been refining it and refining it and refining it and refining it. And as the time goes on, I get better and better and better. I had my range resistance, my current support, and I was just learning more and more and more. But notice, these massive falls and rises happen all the time. This is a couple days later. This is October 2nd, 2024. We are in March of 2025. So 5 months since this happened and stuff like that, right? We're getting ready to go into April here soon too. We're about 15 days into this month. And my system is completely different from what you're seeing here to where it is now. Still with Top Step, still with Apex, still doing all that stuff. But we're gonna take you to like a year before, and we're gonna discuss March 13th, because like I was saying, a lot of people envy the balance. They don't envy the amount of work and dedication that went into building that account up in the first place, or to passing all these 20, 30, 40 different accounts and stuff like that, evaluations, and then how hard it is to get your first payout and all of that stuff. You know, a lot of people don't envy the work, they envy the reward. And I want to tell you guys about quite possibly the worst day that I had in a long time. Like, I've had depression in my life, but this day I wasn't sad, I wasn't depressed, I was just tired. I had I invested a lot into my day trading and stuff like that, but I wasn't seeing the benefits of the work that I was putting in, and it was really starting to get frustrating, right? I wasn't getting my payouts because of like 30% rules and different stuff like that. And it got to the fact point of where I was desperate, and I desperately thought that I needed money, you know? So I had closed down the car business. You guys know I was doing Turo before I got into day trading. After the first year of doing pretty decent with day trading, once I started to like really get the hang of it, I decided to close down the car business because the car business was starting to become more of an expense than an account that was actually making me money. Like the first year we made like $30,000 or whatever, and that was awesome. But then the second year we were just hemorrhaging money for car repairs and storage fees, parking tickets, just a number of things that we were struggling with the auto business, and it was just time to move on from it. So day trading presented a beautiful opportunity, right? But when you're trading for need and you're trading for the money itself, you run into a lot of pitfalls. And on this particular time, even though it was costing me a lot to run the car business, I was making money from the car business, so it was helping out, with like monthly expenses and stuff like that. So when I shut that down, I needed to trade for it. Things changed with my trading. My trading seemed infinitely more difficult. Fear started to set in. Nervousness started to set in. I started to have like seemingly hard problems. The stress was like through the roof, and I was putting so much added pressure on myself to do the job. But then it got really bad because like one week it just felt like I just kept hitting the reset button. My money was drying up, all the bills just kept coming in every single month. It was like resetting. And then at one point in time, due to some mistakes that I made on my own, I fell behind probably like 2 weeks, and then I never caught up to that 2 weeks ever again. And granted, I have a day job, have a business still, but it was just draining everything that I had just to stay afloat. I took on too much at one time. So now the car business that was helping to sustain everything no longer I still had expenses for the cars and my life expenses. Mortgage goes up, everything like that. Everything changes, everything goes up. Inflation raises everything, right? A rising tide will raise all ships. And my account was like negative like every other week. And at the worst point, it was overdrawn like 12, like 50 on one account and like $240 on another account, and my credit card was maxed out. And I was like, geez, dude, I just need a break, right? And I was starting to do well with the trading, so I was like, you know what, we can go ahead and get ourselves a nice little payout and stuff like that, and that'll give us some breathing room. And like in my head, I was like, all I need is 5K, right? So then I started trading my accounts, and at first it's going really well. Make $2,000, $3,000, get to the point where I can take a payout, get denied the payout. So then I start trading aggressively to match the amount that was in there that got me denied because the 30% consistency rule kicked in, and then blew the account. Then blew another account. Then traded some more, then blew another account. Now, I didn't have money to invest in going forward, so I was down to my last account, right? And it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. It was March 13th. I was down to my last account, and I was in debt. Not from day trading, but just in debt in general, and just so tired and exhausted. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't like sad or anything like that. I was just tired. I was feeling like a failure. I'm like, listen, dude, you're 30 plus, and you can't figure this out. Like, your mind is this brilliant mind. You graduate high school at 16. You're supposed to be so smart. Why are you so dumb and you can't figure out what the hell you should be doing? And I just started walking. I walked from this place called Tanger Outlets, because you guys have seen Tanger Outlets before probably if you drive around a lot. A place called Tanger Outlets to my house. It's about a 30-minute walk. I went home, I got my gun, and I just walked to a place next to this park and was like, I'm just gonna blow my brains out. And here's the scary part about it. I have 2 kids, I've got a mortgage, I've got all these responsibilities that I'd be leaving for someone else, not to mention I'd probably decimate their lives and stuff like that, with a permanent solution to a very temporary problem. But I just didn't care. I didn't give a crap, guys. I'm gonna be frank. I'm gonna just use some language. I didn't give a shit. It was my life. I was so tired of it. I was so ready to be done with it. I was like, when I went to grab the gun and pull the trigger, I felt nothing. I felt no remorse. I felt no sadness. I felt no fear. I felt nothing. I felt, if anything, relief. And that is a scary place to be. What stopped me was a mom and her kids got out of their car and they were in the parking lot of the park across from where I was sitting to, do it or whatever. I was going to shoot myself, fall into the water, be done with it, right? And I was like, I can't ruin their day just because I want to ruin my day, And it wasn't like there was a bunch of like notes or nothing like that. And I'll tell you something about people who seem generally happy. They tend to harbor some of the saddest feelings. So for the people who are like always energetic and happy and stuff like that, a lot of times we can be sad and stuff. So you just don't envy anybody's personality or envy anything about anybody, right? Like the money and stuff will come with time, but let me just explain what happened. So I'm sitting there, and the biggest thing was I just didn't feel like asking for help. I had always been the guy to help people out financially, to take care of everything. I'd always had, my stuff relatively together, but it was like spiraling out of control for the first time in a long time. And I was like, I really am just tired of starting over. I don't want to start new accounts. I don't want to do this. And I would go on to blaze 20 accounts out with no problem after this. So that is the craziest part. A lot of times when you're in your darkest hour, you are about to hit a breakthrough and it's going to blow your mind, like I was going to with the gun. That's dark humor, people. I got dark humor. But let me tell you about God's sense of humor. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, geez, can we get on with our lives so I can do this already? And they just stayed there in the parking lot. Her child was like walking a stroller around, of course, making me think about my kids. And so I get up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk to the other end of our street. Not our subdivision, because there's multiple subdivisions here. But I was going to walk 2 miles the other way, like past my parents' house or whatever. And do it at another place, another water area. So I start walking. And I'm just like, clearly, God, you don't really give a darn that much, right? I'm not mad at God, but I'm like, it's okay. It can't be so bad to like kill yourself, because it's not like someone's interfering. No one's calling me or whatever. I left my phone at home anyway, so like I was done, with everything. I didn't care about a phone. Listen, it is so relieving to not have a phone. Let me just tell you that. So I start walking, and I'm like, I just have a question. I know I don't play the lottery and stuff like that, but how come money just never falls at my feet like it seems to do everybody else, right? Not even 30 yards later, I see a $100 bill, right? And I'm like, yo, is that for real? And I go to pick it up, and I do the, bend down, tie your shoe joint, you know what I'm saying? Where you're like, you bend down, tie your shoe, put your foot on it, and then pick it up, put it in your pocket or whatever. And so like I pick it up, and it's this right here. It's this $100 right here, right? And I open it up, and it says, you got pranked. When I tell you, I started to laugh so hysterically. Not one, but two, but three of these things they were all about 15 meters apart. Somebody had dropped fake $100 bills. I literally was like, God, you never drop money at my feet. And he was like, you didn't say what type of money. You didn't say how much money you need. So when you're praying, even if you're just having a discussion with God, you need to be very specific, because in your darkest times, God has a pretty decently dark sense of humor to me. He's got the same sense of humor that a lot of people have out here. And he was like, oh, you want money? I got you. I mean, it ain't real money, but you didn't say you wanted real money. You said you wanted money. And dude, I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed until like I could not breathe. So I'm walking now, and like my whole mood and demeanor has changed, because I realized something. We put such a high value on this paper. It's fake. It's fake. The stock market money, the money that we use, all of it is not real. And we have such a high value on it, and we feel that we need it so badly that it starts to warp your mind. And it's not necessarily worship, but you feel it's like a drug addiction. You're like, I need it, I gotta have it, but you don't need it, and you don't have to have it, but it does help. So for the people who say that, having money won't make you happy, they've never been so broke that you're irritated about being broke. So it will make you feel a little bit better. We'll just say that. No, having money usually makes you more of what you were already. If you're a pretty decent person, you're going to be a more decent person. If you're an awful person, you're going to be an even more awful person. It's that simple. So I got the prank money. My mood changed. I'm having a discussion with God. Didn't apologize, which I probably should, but I'm feeling how I'm feeling, and I'm still just whatever about it. So then I'm walking and I'm getting towards my parents' house. I want to tell somebody the story about how I picked up the money when I said the money never falls on my feet or whatever. And I go sit down and I just flat out came out and was like, yeah, I was finding a place to blow my brains out or whatever. And I said it just that casual. I was looking for a place to blow my brains out. And let me tell you what happened. And they didn't gasp, they didn't scream, they didn't, oh my gosh. They just sat there and they listened. And then when I told my mom, she's like, what do you mean you're in a hole? And she's like, how come you guys never, people never come to us, in the beginning. They always come when it's, out of control. And I'm like, because, she's like, my dad's like, it's a pride thing. And I'm like, it's not so much a pride thing, but it kind of is. But at the same time, I just feel like with my mind, I should be able to figure this out. I've been able to figure all the other things out in life. I've always been scholastically beautiful. I've always done well with mental things. How is finances not a mental thing? And I was like, and then also I'm a grown ass man. I just want to be able to handle my own problems. I don't want to have to be asking for help at 35 plus years old and stuff like that. I want to be able to do it on my own for my family and stuff like that. And he was like, it's a beautiful sentiment and stuff, but sometimes we need help. He's like, just like when my mom's like, before I got wealthy, I called you whenever, hey, can I get $30? Can I get $50? And she's like, you never skipped a beat. You always did exactly what I asked you to do or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but that's always been me, the giver, never the person who needed to receive. And I've needed to receive on several occasions and people have always come through, but I was just tired of going back to that over and over and over again, man. And it was so sad and irritating that I was like, I'm done resetting. I'm done starting over again. Right. And so here we are. We get there and she's like, how much are you behind? And I'm like $5,000 in a hole right now. And she's like, $5,000 is nothing. And I'm like, yeah, to somebody who has it, but to somebody who doesn't have it or have the means to get it, it's everything. And for context, my mother's a millionaire. Okay. And something you need to know about being the child of a millionaire, someone who became a millionaire later in your life versus somebody you were born into a family with money. You're not a millionaire because you weren't born into that circumstance. They became millionaires later down the line. So it's not my money and stuff like that. And I don't want to ask them for money either way. Right. But, in this particular case, they helped me out and it really took the pressure off of me and my day trading. And my day trading went to a whole nother level. The very next day, I think I made over 10K and stuff like that in the market. And then I started to realize what was affecting my day trading. The need and desire and desperation for money was killing my ability to think straight. Money was ruling my mind. It was ruling every single thing, every thought. It was all over my brain at all times. And it was so just defeating. Every time I took a loss, it felt like the end of the world. Every time an account was blown, it felt like, oh my God, I'm resetting life. Not I'm resetting an account. It felt like I was resetting life from every account. So with that encounter, after that day, I feel fine or whatever and stuff like that. Sure, I should probably talk to somebody, but I wanted to come on here and share this with you guys because it's not what it seems. It's not what you're seeing right now. I didn't really start doing the YouTube video side of thing until I was already pretty well established with my technique because I didn't want to go on here and not have anything to share that was useful. You can see some of the beginning of my journey in my early videos and stuff like that because I have you guys are probably seeing my latest 30-40 videos. I have 622 videos. So I have 622 videos. You guys are seeing a page of 30 and majority of these are success stories. I haven't really taken terrible losses in a while or whatever. So majority of these are success stories. And you see that and you envy the success, but you don't envy the exercises that went into getting me there in the first place. And I wanted to share that aspect with you and the fact that you are not alone in this situation. If you need help, go seek help. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling beat up, go talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to a therapist, talk to somebody. Don't do what I did and just bottle it up and try to fix it yourself. you know, because it almost led to my own destruction. You guys wouldn't be able to see this handsome mug on the screen anymore had I blown it off, you know. And when I tell you, I didn't care. I didn't feel anything about doing it. I would have just, had no one been there, I would have casually done it. So I got my, you know, intervention as usual. But then I started asking myself, like, what is my purpose? Why do I keep being here if I'm just gonna keep failing? You know, and sometimes you fail up. But my purpose is to come here and share this with you and to tell you that you're not the first or last person who's going through something like that, you know, to tell you to think of your kids, to think of your life, and the fact that it's never too late for you to change or improve your life. Like I said, now you're seeing this. You're seeing 35 trades go for $18,000, 19 trades lose $4,000. That's a $15,000 deficit, basically. It's like $13,600 deficit right there that I'm making. Now I'm making this. But it wasn't until I had the ability to just relax and day trade casually and make it fun again. Day trading to me is a video game that if I win, I make money. If I lose money. Come here, buddy. You know, I would have left this little beautiful thing behind right here. Come here, Rain Dillard. Look at this little thing. Look at this little baby. Come here, Rain Dillard. You know, and take that off your head. Take that off your head. Yeah, looking crazy. And this one right here, I would have left these. Get in. You gotta get in the camera. I would have get in the camera. Sit on my lap. Here. Let me take this off. Say hi. I would have left that little thing behind and this little tiny one behind and stuff like that, and they would have been all sad and depressed and everything for their whole lives. But all right, now you can get on down because you're being too loud. You know, put her down. But at the end of the day, it is your life, and no one can tell you how to live your life and what to do with it. You know, but I do hope that if you feel depressed, or you feel sad, or you feel like you want to hurt yourself and stuff, that you're able to, like me, receive the help that you needed. And I just want you guys to know that the financial side of things is not that serious. If your only problems in life are financial, and take a second to step back and really look at what the rest of you have is going on. Is the rest of your life good? Is your family good? Is everybody eating? Because we weren't starving. We weren't hurting for anything. My child wasn't having to be taken out of her school and stuff like that, you know. And I did eventually get the financial backing that I needed. And all I needed was time. I just didn't want to be a burden to anybody. And a lot of times, guys, you may think you're a burden, but you're not, man. You know, if you need something, the worst case scenario, you get a no. But the least you can do is at least ask for it and just try to get it out there that you're in need. And maybe somebody will be able to help. And I hope that you guys' situations are considerably better than mine. And I honestly hope that as a day trader, you don't have to go through this dark time. You know, maybe a few losses here and there, a few blown accounts, but never to the degree that I went through. Like, once I blew my last account and just felt like it was the end of the world because I would have to start all over again. It was just so tough on me. And now it's 20 accounts is just managing itself, basically. 25 accounts. I'm on Top Step. I'm on My Funded Traders. I'm on Apex. Like, it's out of control now how many accounts I have and how decently easy it is now to day trade. And you will get there as well. You'll get to the point where day trading is super duper easy. But let me go play with the girls, man. It's getting late or whatever. I'm gonna go get them ready for bed and stuff. She's over here messing with my air conditioner stuff. I'll catch you guys in the next video. But just realize that it's not, or it doesn't happen. Okay, I am trying to finish this video off. Alright, but let me go, man. The girls are getting a little bit restless and stuff, and she wants these gummy worms. So let me go ahead and take them on down and get them ready for bed and everything. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. As always, this has been a full transparency trading session where I'm your host, Sebastian, and I'm out. Ha 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 ha.